Hey, welcome to Buffy Virgin, a spoiler-free Buffy the Vampire Slayer podcast. We're talking a thermodynamic quantity representing the unavailability of a system's thermal energy for conversion into mechanical work, often interpreted as the degree of disorder or randomness in the system, because it's Season 6, Episode 18, Entropy. I'm your host, cartoonist Dennis St. John.
Aha!
And this is the rest of the crew. Why don't you guys introduce yourself with your favorite law of thermodynamics? You could just make one up.
I should be the one to beg for forgiveness since I did take physical chemistry in college, and that course almost broke my brain. So I love that course, but I never felt more stupid in my entire life. And I just thank God every day I'm not a physical chemist.
Hi, my name's... Oh, and what's your name?
Oh, my name's Travis.
And my name is John, and my favorite law of thermodynamics is the zeroth law, which is that thermal equilibrium is transitive, according to some shit I just Googled.
Hi, my name's Michael. My favorite laws of thermodynamics are the ones that compile and look great on a spreadsheet. I'm talking about the thermostat, which is excellent for adjusting temperatures. I'm the virgin. I've only seen up to Season 6, Episode 18 of Entropy, I guess, of Buffy, yeah.
All right, but before we get into Entropy, let's do reactions to... Season 6, the last episode we aired.
Episode 9.
Episode 9, thank you. So we got called out this week, and I'm going to quote one reaction from Kapa Nagoy, who says, you spent so much time looking for the small details, like what's written in the papers. You can't see that Buffy was wearing a skirt and not tight leather pants. And Andy Gerber and Sister Spike both make similar comments.
So we get it
totally
wrong.
Called out. We got it wrong. I went back and watched the scene in question where we made a huge deal about them banging, both wearing pants, and the zipper situation and stuff. And everybody's right. They are wearing. Buffy at least is wearing a long leather skirt. Here's the thing. I watched it on YouTube. I watched the clip on YouTube instead of going back and watching the full episode. And Buffy's stunt double is clearly wearing pants.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Maybe that was part of her confusion, but...
Is it... Because I would have to go back and rewatch the scene, which I'm definitely not going to do. But Dennis, did you... is there still a valid complaint to be made about the fact that Spike is still wearing pants?
Spike is still wearing pants.
Does it still seem like it would be difficult?
That whole scene is difficult. They fuck down a house.
Right. I guess if...
I think we do get logged down in the small details, and
you say we, but I think we all know who we're talking about.
To miss the forest for the trees. Whatever. We got called out for it.
Fair enough. It's a fair cop. Yeah.
So Ivana says, we know that Spike is a modern vampire. He watched TV. Passion. He can use a computer slowly with one finger, but he can. He's a fan of rock punk music. So he also can watch a movie and can even be a nerd. I don't want to make a spoiler, but cut for potential spoilers. Also, I don't know that Spike is just evil. He never was. Angelus or Darla are simply evil. Drusilla is also crazy, but Spike is clearly a more complicated guy, also smarter than most of other vampires. Even without the chip, he can work with the Slayer if he has some interest in it. He's a good partner for Drusilla, when I don't see Angelus in this. He probably has been left in her... He probably been left her in sickness for his fun or just get bored on it. Spike is a weirdo. I just finished watching Lucifer, and I think Maze is kind of similar to Spike. She's a soulless thing, but she's never been only evil. She changes because her human friends resonate with her. She also wants a soul, and she doesn't have a chip. She's still a free demon.
Because I think this episode I was like, it's clear he's evil. And I think that always brings out the like, he's not actually evil comments. But, whether he's evil or not, he still wants to murder people. That's my...
Right.
So both Stephen Tunley and Rich give us Amy quotes that we missed that are pretty good.
I think for Stephen, he brings up the quote. Amy says, Buffy asks, Amy, how you doing? And she's like, rat, you? Or I forget the exact quote, but Amy's like, rat, you? What have you been up to or something since high school or something? And then Rich, Dingo Action says, Amy's like, how long was I in the cage? Which is a great quote, meaning that rats proving once and for all, finally, conclusively, without a shadow of a doubt, rats have no idea of time. They just have no concept of time.
Can't keep it, can't track it, can't write it down. Can't scratch on the little cage for how many days Amy was in there.
All right, let's find out what entropy is about.
The summary.
Poor jilted Anya wanders Sunnydale alone, longing to curse Xander with her vengeance demon powers. We learn, or we're reminded, that BDs can't grant their own wishes, so Anya looks for someone to take the bait. Meanwhile, Xander breaks a lawn gnome and discovers that someone is surveilling Buffy, and it could be Spike. Buffy confronts Spike about his stalking, and he's insulted enough to split a bottle of whiskey with Anya. Willow traces the signal from the camera and discovers that it's the trio that have cameras everywhere, including the magic box, where she sees Spike and Anya having sex. Even though they're broken up and definitely not going to get married, Xander grabs an axe to confront Spike. Xander accuses Spike, how could he get his vamp hands on Anya? Spike jokes they were good enough for Buffy, which finally reveals Buffy's sexual relationship with Spike. No one makes a wish, at least any that Anya feels like dealing with, and Willow and Tara make up.
And now move on to Great Lines.
Great lines.
So 2 great lines in this episode spoke to me. First, Buffy's making crazy breakfast. What kind of syrup do you want, Dawn? Syrups have kinds? I don't know, that one was delightful.
What's weird there is that it seems like if you look at what the shot that like, it's 4 kinds of maple syrup. It's not like she has like blueberry syrup and like, lingonberry or whatever. She's got like 4 kinds of maple syrup as far as I can tell. So I don't know. Maybe one of them's like sugar-free, one of them's real maple syrup, one of them's the fake stuff.
Well, clearly you're not a Vermonter because we take our syrup seriously.
There are different types of maple syrup. Okay, for the international audience, there are different types of maple syrup. There is like grade A, I think it's called amber. Then there's B, which is dark or very dark. And my hunch is there's probably a grade C, which is a not necessarily negative. It's not worse, but just different translucencies have imparted different flavor.
Here's something interesting because people perceived grade B as lesser quality, even though it's actually higher quality. It actually got its name changed to grade A amber, and grade A still exists. Just it's a marketing thing, but Vermonters very serious about it.
Yeah,
if you choose your maple syrup, grade A amber is the best. It's the thick stuff, and Vermont maple syrup. You know why it's best? Because it legally has to be the most dense syrup on the market. That's why it's more expensive, but you're getting higher quality.
Okay.
I knew this was going to be a trigger.
When you buy the syrup in a glass maple leaf, it even imparts even more flavor and more authenticity.
Great. Well, I'm going to jump from this COVID breakfast trigger to this one with Tara. It's the end of the episode. This one's just phenomenal, and I'm sure we'll talk about it again. This is from Tara in Willow's bedroom. There's just so much to work through. Trust is to be built again on both sides. You have to learn if we're even the same people we were, if you can fit in each other's lives. It's a long, important process, and can we just skip it? Can you just be kissing me now?
That is the best get back together line ever.
Yeah.
Ever written.
Yeah. Another sort of emotionally difficult moment, but that has a joke in it that like doesn't quite land because it's like in an emotionally difficult moment, but it's a great joke where Xander's like, oh, so you had to do it. He was just there. Like Mount Everest. I love that joke that having sex with Spike is like Mount Everest. It's something you have to do because it's there. It's great.
Many men have died.
Yes.
Also, like the litter situation, all the people don't really know what they're doing. There's like bodies strewn. They're really quite gross.
All the Sherpas guiding people to Spike.
So I actually chose a Xander quote, which I haven't done forever. He's like, Buffy's yelling at him, or he's, freaking out on Buffy's lawn. And he's like, that's not proactive, guy. That's sit around and watch your life turn to crap, guy. Which I just love is a great thing.
Right, because he's going to possibly go after Anya when she shows up for a sec. Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, let her go. And he's like, oh, that's not proactive, guy.
I just want to dig holes. I just want to dig graves for myself. I chose a back and forth between Spike and Anya. I saved the Scoobies. How many times? I can't stand the lot of you. Me either. I hate us. Everyone's so nice. No one says what's on their mind. All right, let's do the kill count.
The kill count.
So, one lawn gnome, one redeeming, which could be the death of a human, depending on how you interpret it, and 2 vampires get dusted. Now let's do weird noticings and trivia.
Weird noticings.
So the trio. This episode begins with the trio on ATVs with stakes attached to them, and they are not as badass as they think they are. The episode knows it, but
these 2 vampires are really scared of them. Like, they definitely have these 2 vampires where they want them.
yeah, I mean, they're literally all defeated by a tree branch.
Yeah.
And here's a little bit of trivia. There are 2 different movies that star a Buffy cast member and have a scene of people being chased on ATVs by monsters. Do you know what those movies are? Scooby-Doo and Pinata Survival Island with Nikki Brendan.
That is some trivia. Trivia what? Gosh, Spike is still around. I thought that they were broken up. Of course, they're not. This the scene though where Spike is just holding on to a vampire and threatening to drop him in on Buffy while trying to like connect with Buffy about the relationship they could be having, whatever. Like, this is fun. It's cute. This feels like it's just an adorable scene.
I agree. Spike is so weird in the scene. It even weirds out the other vampires.
Totally.
Willow and Tara are just such charming dorks when they're in each other's presence. This scene on the campus felt like such a like light in the darkness of the season of like, oh, this used to be what this show did.
Yeah. I was sad to see Warren and Andrew plotting against Jonathan. I mean, I guess it's like this is an inevitable thing because, you know, the show really favors Jonathan. You know, he's the nerd we think is redeemable, even though he participated in a homicide. But, you know, Warren and Andrew are like, oh, we're going to probably have to kill Jonathan soon as he completes this next nerdy thing. Like, the cruelty that they're asking of Warren and Andrew, like, is really intense.
Yeah. And Jonathan gets called both, like, Padawan and Short Round.
Nerdy diminutives. Like, how do you diminish somebody and also still be really nerdy?
Nobody wants to be Short Round. Come on, man. If you're going to be that kid, you want to be Data.
Well, they didn't even make fun of his, like, you know, his Raiders of the Lost Ark kind of disc project that he's working on. They didn't even, like, get into it.
You're digging in the wrong place.
Also, that candle, like, could not project that light. Like, they didn't have, like, a flashlight setup would have been cooler, but it was so frustrating.
It's magic, man.
Padawan would have been a fairly contemporary reference at that time, right? This is like, I think even before Attack of the Clones, right?
I did not look at the timeline, but yeah.
This has got to be 0102, right? So it's maybe 2002.
Yeah. I think it's right after the episode 1. Yeah.
A lot of this episode is about Anya's vengeance, demoning, trying to get people to curse Xander in different ways. But I liked how learning that she couldn't curse people directly was really fun. I mean, I think we've explored a little bit about vengeance demons and how the thing works, but we haven't seen a vengeance demon that also wants something to be done on their behalf directly. And so that this scene with her and Xander, where she's trying to get Xander to feel terrible and none of her curses are working directly, was really fun. It's interesting to find new ways to like make demons kind of diminutive. And like this whole episode of her just kind of exasperated trying to get Xander to be tortured in some way, like by using her powers, is really fun. I'm sure we'll talk about more of these scenes, but that initial one was like that setup scene that explained that she basically can't do it directly was really fun. I was like, I knew exactly where the episode was headed, and it made me really happy.
It's like wild. She was a demon for 1,000 years. She did not ever learn her own rules.
Also, why can't Halfrick do it for her?
Exactly. Yeah. Why can't
it seems really obvious.
Yeah. They never say why Halfrick can't do it.
I don't know. She's maybe not interested in it.
Or why Anya can't just get a random person to do it, but she's like, she explains that like getting new friends is hard, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I could accept that. Like, you probably can't get a stranger to be like, "I'll pay you $5 to read this piece of paper that says I wish Xander would turn inside out," because then it has to be somewhat heartfelt. I think probably
that's part of the magic, right? It has to tap into real emotional
that I can
pain.
accept, but it seems really like clear that surely Anya could make a wish that Halfric could then fulfill. Like that seems like the obvious solution, but isn't discussed.
Yeah, they're not experienced D&D players. They don't know how to like cheat the DM system.
Hold
Well, it
on, let
turns
me get
out-
out the most recently released user manual for version 5 of
Our life.
Vengeance Demon.
Well, it turns out there's an easier way to hurt Xander. Doesn't involve any magic at all.
Oh, maybe a magic stick.
I heard a story this week that was like, wow, Emma Caulfield was perfectly cast as a vengeance demon who's trying to torment her ex. And I'll try to tell the story without using names, because I was given permission to tell the story, but not to like give names. But a friend of mine who grew up in like LA dated Emma Caulfield's ex-boyfriend. And then they moved to my friend and the ex-boyfriend moved to San Francisco together. And that's when Emma Caulfield started calling and harassing them. She would call and be like, call the boyfriend and be like, you're wasting your life. Like, you're making a terrible decision. And if she called and my friend picked up, Emma Caulfield would like put on a voice and try to pretend to be like an aunt or like somebody else and try to like get past her to get to the ex-boyfriend and just to be like, move back to LA. You're like destroying your life in San Francisco. So I thought that was wild.
Yeah, what a wild pre-cell phone crisis where you can't directly reach somebody, so you got to have the house line. Shit.
I tried to have them on for this episode, but they declined.
So you're saying her vengeance demoning is rightfully
Becomes
earned?
natural. It's also super weird to like hang out with a friend and something and be like, oh, you know, this character actor we enjoy. They're like, yeah, they were a bully in my life. They were like a dangerous force. It affects the way you watch a program, man.
Well, Dawn wants to go patrolling. I only bring this up because of just the absurdity of what Dawn wants, and you know, she's involved with the Scoobies indirectly. She wants to be more involved. That's all she really wants. You know, I like the way this is framed. It's like Buffy spending time with her. Well, she wants to spend time with Buffy doing Buffy things.
Yeah,
and you know, for the past many episodes, she couldn't do that because Buffy is really just having sex with Spike. I guess, and patrolling, whatever the euphemism of the moment is. But Dawn just really wants to spend time doing her thing. And I think that part is interesting. And this was triggering for me for whatever reason, because I found like that this is such a true younger sibling thing where they want to spend time doing your thing. Like they don't want you to spend time doing their thing or the thing that you imagine should be their thing, right? They want to come do your thing with you. And it's like, that's actually, everybody hates that. Nobody wants to bring a younger sibling along. And I guess that exploded like what's really going on in that relationship with that. And like, I guess I'm been so caught up in the monster fighting part of it. And obviously it's dangerous, but like, I don't know, it's just about not wanting your sister to do your thing.
I just thought it was interesting this episode when Buffy is arguing with Spike at the beginning. She's like, I tried to kill all my friends last week. Do you know how much they hate me? 0. Or they hate me none. And, you know, that's obviously a little bit of hyperbole to like talk Spike down because Buffy is trying to repair her relationship. It's also funny in that opening scene where they're walking around the mall together or the outside mall. You're like, that's not the normal Sunnydale street.
Yeah. No espresso pump on that street.
So I love that no one agrees to say, I wish something would happen to Xander. Like literally, you know, Dawn has fallen for an I wish with like, she can't fall for it again. Like this just happened. And if she did, it'd be absurd. So I love Dawn's just like, no, I'm sorry. And, but like, also no one is like directly addressing the antagonistic thing that Anya's trying to do. No one's like, hey, you're trying to torture him through me. They're all just like, oh, it makes sense. You're going through the breakup. You need a little time. Like everyone's just being so nice to Anya, despite what she's trying to do something horrific to Xander and indirectly to them. But then, you know, also while they're being very friendly with her, it's interesting that nobody really offers her any physical companionship except for Spike. Like she drops in on Tara and Willow. She drops in on, you know, the entire cast, you know, but no one offers her a hug or anything. They're just kind of keep her at an arm's distance, you know?
Yeah, one of the things in this whole watch through that is like standing out to me about Anya's character is that like there's a degree to which she never quite steps out of that role of being your friend's partner into the role of being, you know, the friend. There's always that like 1 degree of slight removal. And I think everybody likes Anya. Everybody's like, you know, feels bad for Anya, but everybody's team Xander. Because that's how friendships work, right? There's like a seniority system.
Yeah. And she did not spend her time on this earth making outside friends.
Yeah.
And is paying for that in this episode. But I agree, no one offers her a hug. That's sad. You gotta have hugs sometimes in this world.
Well, it just shows how clearly they're on Xander's side, right? Like they can't, like this relationship is through entropy is going to disappear.
Good use of title there, Mike.
Oh yeah, sorry. You know, we always try and say the title on this show, and we celebrate it when we do it. I love accusing Spike of having a camera on Buffy. That is a freaking phenomenal scene. His disgust and confusion, but also like I know what a camera is. It's just a great confrontation. Like it's clearly not Spike. Spike would just hang out behind a tree or under a blanket. He would like literally be in your room hiding in a closet.
Spike just figured out how to run the extension cord to his blood refrigerator in the crypt like last week.
To be fair, Spike has recorded Buffy with a camera before. In season 2, he had a vampire recorder during the fight.
Listen, he's a one-fingered typer. He's not putting a camera in a gnome.
But that was having someone else physically hold the camera. It's totally different than a remote surveillance.
Yeah. That hacking, like he's set up like a system that needs hacking.
But also poses this. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I liked that scene where just Willow's like, it's a complicated system, and click, 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 and you just see this like target. Like, okay.
Yeah, I didn't go as far as screenshotting all of them, but like all the screens on Willow's laptop, because they never close up it, but like all the screens on laptops on Willow's laptop are amazing. They're some like prime Johnny Mnemonic fake computer hacking nonsense.
Is she still using the same laptop that we went nuts so about like a couple episodes ago?
It's the same iBook G4, I believe,
iBook G4,
iMac
okay.
G4. Yeah, iBook G4, yeah. I was surprised by the fact that Giles keeps bourbon in the magic box and not scotch. Since when is Giles a bourbon drinker? This is my complaint.
Like it's Tennessee Williams or something, right?
It's Evan Williams.
Williams.
Yeah. Tennessee Williams, the playwright, does not have a brand of bourbon, but he should. He clearly should. I think
I would drink Tennessee
Cat on a Hot Tin Roof is not the name of a cocktail. It needs to be.
I was just gonna say, like, Evan Williams is not even like a good brand.
Yeah, it's not even good. Yeah, that's right. It's a solidly lower shelf bourbon that apparently, although it could be that Anya's lying. It could be her own bottle of bourbon.
It could be the bourbon he left behind. You know?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, if it was a nice single malt scotch, he'd take it with him. Yeah.
Clearly,
we know Giles drinks tea. Does Giles drink hard alcohol? I remember one scene he was.
Oh, he has a bottle of scotch. Oh yeah, the
okay.
scotch has come out multiple times.
Okay, so he's more of a scotch and tea guy. Okay.
So one of the chairs in Buffy's living room, is being held together with duct tape. I noticed, which just kind of bothered me because it's like Xander should have repaired that. Honestly.
Also, his apartment's so fancy.
He has an amazing apartment. Oh yes, the camera in the magic shop is like the most obvious thing I've ever seen in my freaking life.
And for that matter, the gnome is obvious, right?
Yeah, the gnome is so obvious. When I saw that, when I was watching this again for the first time, I'm like, what's with that gnome in the yard? This makes no sense. And then she kicks it, or he kicks it.
The camera in the magic shop is in the skull. But
it's huge.
And that's the same camera that's been there since the mummy hand incident, right? Isn't that the camera they used to spy on her in the magic box?
Yeah.
So I think that camera is, not only is it like really obvious, and they put it in the skull's eye because it's a camera, it's like an eye, and they also put it in the gnome's eye. So like there's a very literal mindedness to their camera hiding, and it's been there for I don't know months.
Yeah, beginning of the season. Dang.
I would like to say that when Spike and Angel eventually
Anya,
Sorry, that was a Freudian slip. You're
definitely revealing your own.
I'm expressing my desires. What can I say? Sorry, when Spike and Anya eventually go at it, I think we've done a lot of Spike character assassination on this podcast, and we've been called out by some of the listeners. I think that Spike and Anya is the pairing that we've been waiting for. I really think that they belong together. They're both they're age appropriate on some level, right? They're both ancient. I think Anya's a good deal more ancient than Spike, but they're both ancient. They both have a very gray area sort of approach to morality. They both have a similar sort of nihilistic philosophy of life. And they're both funny and clever, and they're both hot. I think I wish them well. I think that they should. I think that's the solution. Anya wants to get married. I think she's figured it out.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. The only other time we've really seen them together is in Where the Wild Things Are, that terrible season 4 episode. But they're a charming part of that, right? Is that the right episode? Yeah. Because they drink at the Bronze together. Yeah, they have a lot of natural chemistry. They're both evil, soulless things, according to some.
I ask a question. Is Anya back to being a vengeance demon? Because she had a time in this episode where she had the vengeance face.
Yeah.
Seems to be.
She's a vengeance demon.
So she's not human anymore.
Yeah. That's interesting that was vague for you.
Right, yeah, but there's never a moment where D'Hoffryn is and thus I bestow upon you whatever powers. It's not. I agree. It's a little bit ambiguous. It sort of seems to have happened off screen.
So it's crazy in that final confrontation scene that all three of them have had sex with Spike. That's wild.
When did Xander?
Xander and Spike back in season 4 when they were roommates, man.
Yeah.
Wait,
there was there was even a little bit of shipping callback this episode. Spike had a line where he's like, that Ponce always had it out for me. Any chance he gets, he sticks it in.
Yep. Sorry. Xander / Spike is definitely a fan pairing. I think the fanon is that they got together when Spike was living in Xander's basement and trying on his clothes.
Yeah. What's his line of I'm very biteable. But now we learned that Xander was actually the top, which is really interesting in that relationship.
Well, I started with the best lines, great lines here. Tara wins for the best makeup speech of all time. I mean, she could have had Willow back at any time. Willow was ready to get back, obviously, since she was jilted. But Tara decides it's time to get back. And man, what a speech. What an incredible, simple, straightforward speech. And it's so wonderful to have that character back. Got to say, this, I don't know where I was emotionally this episode. I think I was reeling from the awkwardness of Anya and Spike as a thing. But as soon as Tara shows up and decides she wants Willow back, man, just huge emotional reaction, lots of tears. I mean, that was great. Such a great feeling.
Yeah, I really feel like I don't even know what to say about it because it's just it's everything I miss from this show, and it's like to feel good feelings is rare right now. Mm-hmm. But Tara's been mostly gone for large chunks of this season. When they break up, we occasionally see her, but you don't really get, when we do see her, we get their rough breakup stuff. We don't get, it's you almost forgot what a good character she is and what a good pair, what good energy they have when they're together.
Yeah, I don't know I'm curious for you guys, having rewatched this, does this have an emotional hit for you? Because it was a strong hit for me, but also I think because of COVID, I just let the hit come. I'm I'm taking this one I'm taking the full blast on this. This is great. It felt really good, and I'm not I can't wait to cry, but this one felt so good.
Dude, I mean, yeah, emotions are all over the place right now so for our listeners, because we are on a large delay, 3 of us are dealing with not only the normal COVID isolation, but also fire. The intense West Coast fires are going on right now. So that's an emotional time. I watched the 2011 Muppets this week and I cried 3 times during it. Like, I think we're just like, there's emotional backlog going on right now.
Absolutely.
So that's been Weird Noticings trivia and When We Cry. So let's do questions for the group.
Questions for the group.
So does Spike have a sexy dance? He doesn't.
I think he does. Yeah.
It's implied that he does.
Yeah.
And I mean, knowing Spike, I think it's impossible that he doesn't.
I would say it's probably more of a sexy prance than a dance.
It could be like, I mean, he's into punk music. It could be a sexy pogo.
I think he has a sexy swagger.
Yeah, swagger.
He does,
there you go.
Well, we know he has that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we don't get to see it though, right? Like Anya asked for it. We
No.
don't see a sexy dance.
Yeah. Missed opportunity.
So I kind of have like a Mad Libs concept in my mind here. What's your sexy, fill in that you do?
Well, it's been so incredibly long for me.
Oh, this is cruel.
Whatever sexy moves I have are so outdated. Like,
He's got the sexy Macarena.
Yeah. I got like, I don't know the TikTok dances, but whatever Gwen Stefani moves.
Shoot, I've taken no time to learn TikTok dances. Yeah.
My sexiest move is my sexy podcast that I do.
Is that a separate podcast?
No, that's this one. That would be this one.
It's an entire podcast dedicated to sexy moves, sexy dance moves. That'd be a strange podcast describing the sexy dance move. That'd be very strange. And then you gyrate, and then you sway, and then you gyrate, sway, dip, flip, dunk.
Oh, the dunk.
And then you're there.
Nothing but net, baby.
And with that,
are others going to answer this question?
There is no question to answer.
Okay. So this was brought up, but I thought I'd phrase it as an actual question. Should Dawn go on patrol?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I think she should because, like, life is already so dangerous in Sunnydale.
Mm-hmm.
Statistically speaking, patrol, like on this show, patrol is no more dangerous than the rest of life.
It's technically safer than walking home alone.
Yeah, it is because you're patrolling in a group
with Buffy, the Slayer.
Yeah. And like, it's a good way to learn combat skills, which I think you need.
I disagree. I think the world in which... Sorry, go ahead.
And Dawn just gets attacked when she's home alone.
Yeah. Dawn's already
She's
been
not safe at home. She's been kidnapped.
Yeah. Yeah, Dawn's already been through so much. She's already been through basically the worst thing that could happen to her, right? She's sacrificed.
I guess she's been kidnapped twice, right? At least.
Yeah. Three.
Yeah, but that's a good point.
I can count at least 3 times, right?
She needs to be let into the gang. At least then she could be on a team. I mean, otherwise the stuff that's going to happen with, to her on her own is horrible. And she'll just get into trouble. I mean, they joke that it's like light trouble. It's freaking not, right? They joke that she's like, oh, I'm, stealing a toothbrush. Like, no, this girl is like hooking up with vampires in random. I mean, she's the same stuff Buffy would be doing, actually. She needs to be surrounded with friends.
She needs to be supervised.
I think that going on patrol is not the solution to this problem. I agree that she needs to be brought in to the gang, right? And needs to be let in and needs to be inducted. But going on patrol, I don't think it's a smart idea for her, or for that matter for Xander, right? The fact is that they live in a town full of vampires, and that homes are a magical sheltering space, as is daylight, right? So when it's not daylight, go home is good advice for anybody, right? Under these circumstances. And I think that just like from a public health point of view, everybody should be advised to go home when it's not nighttime.
You want me to live my life with fear?
Yeah, I agree, John, except she keeps getting kidnapped by non-vampiric demons.
True, but it's the sort of thing where it's like probably the dangers you have to worry about aren't the exotic ones, is also the you're going to have the car accident within a mile of your house kind of a thing, where it's like what's going to really get you is the vampires, like the ordinary.
I mean, she was almost murdered by Buffy last week. home.
Yeah, right. But
At
but like
home.
you can't prepare for those things. What you can prepare for is the dangers right?
But going out, getting experience is a way to prepare yourself, like by building up your skill sets.
I don't think watching Buffy kick vampires in the face is gonna give her any meaningful, useful.
You don't think there's going to be any like safe, like, all right, we'll give you one round with this vampire, but I'm right here, kind of.
What I'll say is, if I was Dawn, I'd stay home.
Right,
I
but you
Jen's
live your
point.
life in fear.
She needs training. She needs some kind of like real training. Like these threats aren't going away. Yes, home is a safe place. I'm not saying Giles needs to enter the picture here, but whatever, he's gone now. But it'd be great if Buffy could train up Dawn in some way. I think like the fact that Buffy's trying to protect Dawn's childhood or protect her as a young person, but like Dawn doesn't even want that. Dawn doesn't want to be a little girl. She wants to, and it's frustrating that she's being ignored. Like Buffy's literally not listening to what she's saying she wants.
I'll give you a counter offer, John. How about we have Tara spend the evening with Dawn while Buffy's on patrol, and Tara teaches her some defensive magic.
Oh, that I love. I'm all for that. That's
kind of a compromise.
I think that's a good compromise. I'm in for that.
Because
Tara
Tara
doesn't get addicted, because apparently it's also crack.
Once you get addicted to magic. Also, apparently Tara is like the most motherly of all the figures.
Yeah.
On Buffy. So, all right. So, what's your ideal breakfast? I know I've asked this about 4 or 5 seasons ago, but this is obviously a breakfast-focused thing. So, what is your
obviously?
I think was it like 3 episodes ago we went on a big omelet conversation.
Omelet's just one type of breakfast. I mean, it's just a type of breakfast.
No one
item.
has to listen to this podcast. They can turn us off at any moment. It's our fucking show. We can do what we want.
Fucking love talking about breakfast so much on this show.
Yeah. Well, I think we all decided that we all know that I'm a breakfast for dinner guy. Like I can have breakfast 24/7, but I would say the pancakes were really triggering because pancakes are wonderful.
I prefer waffles.
You prefer waffles? Is it a texture situation? Waffles are more difficult to make. You have to have a specific waffle maker.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I just like them better.
So yeasted waffles are like my favorite type of waffles, and when I can get that, that's great. That's an overnight waffle recipe.
It's like a sourdough waffle.
Yeah, where you let the yeast rise a little, like let the kind of the mix rise a little bit, so you get this kind of sour, wonderful yeasty taste to your waffles. So good.
That sounds good.
But I visited Breakfast Heaven a few weeks ago, and it was huevos rancheros with like garlic black beans.
Are there a few brunch places in Portland? Do they do that there?
No, my wife made it for me. It was amazing. Breakfast Heaven is a garlic black bean salsa with crunchy.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's not the name of a restaurant. That's literally having breakfast with your wife. That's really sweet.
Yeah, well, it's awesome. But we're trying to make it based on a recipe from a Mexican restaurant in Athens, Ohio. And so good.
I like huevos rancheros. Corned beef hash I also really like for breakfast. Corned beef hash and like a poached egg. Oh yeah.
My practical daily breakfast, my daily driver breakfast when I don't have time to make something proper is currently cottage cheese and grape nuts, which is awesome. It's like a ton of protein and like a ton of carbs, like really quickly into your face, and it tastes good. And then you can like go on about your day.
Do you put the grape nuts on the cottage cheese, or do you eat them separately?
No, yeah, you mix them together.
You mix them together, so you don't use any milk with the grape nuts, just the cottage cheese.
No, milk is sort of like cottage cheese, but without the chunks.
Yeah.
Who wants that?
Milk is like the cottage cheese version, right? It hasn't yet become cottage cheese.
That's right. Yeah.
Trev, did you answer your own ideal breakfast question?
No, I didn't. I started to feel some heat after asking this question, and now I just kind of wanted. I just kind of wanted.
I wanted to know.
I just want to
here for
tease
this.
my friends. That's part of why I'm on a podcast.
All podcasts become food podcasts. It's inevitable. It's just the direction of podcasts.
Pretend that you're a character from Buffy. What's your favorite breakfast?
Well, I mean, when you go out to eat, it's different than eating at home, of course. So if I were to go out to eat, then I would love like what we'd call. I'm not sure what you would call it, but it would be eggs. It would be meat, meat, and then a bread item, and then maybe some fresh fruit. If I was at a fancy hotel, then this is what I would get, and then some coffee with that fresh fruit. With or without yogurt, depends on what I wanted to do for the day, or just depends on what the quality of spread was there. But at home, omelets obviously are just very easy, and but if you want to put more effort into breakfast at home, it's pancakes for me. So I don't have a waffle maker, but I do make pancakes. So that's for me. I don't usually have juice in the house, so there's no juice at home. It would just be pancakes and coffee. And I usually don't have breakfast meats, so it's not really a home item for me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, my home breakfast is not any of what I mentioned. It's like either a single egg or like I do a lot of like breakfast shakes that are just like a little bit of fruit, some yogurt, and like maybe a little bit of greens in there. Like coconut milk or something. Are we good with this? Let's go on to themes and deep stuff.
Deep stuff.
Okay, so I just wanted to point out, like, we've, in addition to being character assassins for Spike, we're also character assassins for Xander, especially in the early seasons, right? Xander is, I think it's a case of, like, Xander representing something I think we see in ourselves that we don't like, right? Like, Xander is a representation of a certain kind of toxic masculinity that maybe we were practicing when we were Xander's age, and to some extent, and but this episode is a new low for Xander. I just want to say that, like, Xander is whatever Xander did in the past, as far as like hitting on his friends, being a general creep, saying things we wish he wouldn't say. I think all of that pales in comparison to like being really crappy to your significant other, trying to apologize, but then all of that goes out the window when you see her sleeping with somebody else, and then all of a sudden you want to do violence. Like, I feel like that's a new low for Xander. Xander is officially downgraded even further.
Dang. Yeah.
F-.
I think it's one thing to feel those feelings, like,
right.
Like, I think that's very human and like natural, and I've definitely felt that feeling when my ex hooks up with
Right.
somebody else. I like get mad, even though I have literally no right to. Those feelings exist. It's an entirely other thing to act on it with an axe.
Yeah.
But also to like at the end, he stands in judgment over Anya.
Exactly.
Right?
And I think that's almost the worst part, right? Because like Spike is horrible and fine. Like there's an argument for killing Spike at all times. But yeah, this thing he
or
says
at least
to her
taking
about,
a swing at him with an axe, because like that it's a fantasy show. You can do that. That's fine.
Yeah,
but,
exactly. But the thing he says about like you're disgusting because you had sex with that person, like that's really awful.
First of all, hypocritical because you've banged him.
Yeah. Well, that's why it burns so hard, right? Like,
but yeah. No, the thing is, like, he's the guy who did the breaking up. He ruined the wedding. He ruined the potential marriage and stuff. And then he stands judgment over her for trying to cope with this thing.
right.
Yeah.
Not
I feel
cool.
it, man. I feel it.
I mean, on the flip side, he certainly can feel a right not to be attracted to her if she has sex with Spike. I mean, that's nothing like illegal. Like, people do things that are unattractive. In theory, he should be quite unattractive to her. Like, she should not wish to have anything to do with him after he ruined the wedding. Like, he should be completely unattracted to her. That's her choice if she was still attracted to him. Like, that was a decision he made.
Yeah, I mean, obviously my problem is not that he's not attracted to her. I'm not sad that he doesn't want to get back together with her. I'm sad that he felt the need to express that to her face then and there, right? Like that's what's sad. And that's
but she did
okay.
say she wished he'd like had his intestines like destroyed. And,
and that's fair. And I think it's been
so
pointed out.
She said that to him, and he's like, yeah, take it. And then he says one thing. Yeah, I don't know.
We have been a little bit softer on Anya as an evil person than we have on the male.
She's
not an
tried to get someone to curse him.
I think, Mike, I feel like you wanted to say something.
Oh, I mean, we're soft on Anya because she's ineffective at pulling off that stuff. she succeeds in what she wants and what she needs and what Spike needs, which is to blow up their relationship, right? They both need to move on, and like they kind of like it's like mutually assured destruction of both of their problem relationships, because once they do this, they can't go back. Presumably, I'm saying I don't know if the show is going to continue to indulge in Spike, Buffy, and Anya Xander stuff after this. I'm guessing they won't, but at the same time, it's like let's just explode this thing together.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Like Xander bringing an axe, like let's end this. Like there's a bit of posturing, macho posturing, and also, I mean, what's great is the show gets to, I guess, like judge Buffy too pretty harshly, you know, but also like Buffy's kept it a secret, and I'm just so thankful it's all on surveillance cameras. So it's just like this happened, this actually happened. It's not going to be speculated about for years or whatever months.
Yeah, and I'm just surprised that Spike has never slept with Faith.
They haven't met yet, other than in Buffy's body.
That's right. Yeah, that blows my mind.
It's almost like the two of them existing on the show at the same time is like too powerful. Yeah, it's redundant. Like,
it does feel like a super new low for Xander, John. Thanks for bringing that up. Like, I guess I wasn't even thinking about Xander's problems. Since he started this destruction of his own relationship and then wants it back, like, come on, dude, grow up.
Yeah.
And then gets to judge her. Like, I don't think he's successful in judging her. I mean, I don't. Well,
that is an ugly breakup. The breakup that keeps happening, that like you keep feeling betrayed by, like after you did the breaking up. Like,
I mean, essentially, what the big deal is, I mean, Xander was basically a poor communicator. Right, because he's like 21 or 22 years old.
These characters are in their 40s. Come on.
And so he's a poor communicator who like just couldn't tell her who had a terrible vision at their wedding, and then was just a poor communicator. And they broke it up. Right.
I mean, the real problem is don't try to get married when you're like 19 years old or whatever they are.
Yeah. But that's like it's very painful, but you know, I guess having sex with like another person is also like communication. So I guess Anya might be a poor communicator, but she's like, she's supposed to be a very straightforward person. Like her communication is supposed to be very straightforward. So, I mean, I don't think she's a bad communicator. So it's just an interesting decision.
I mean, I think
her character. Yeah.
Yeah. I think to speak to your point, like in their relationship, she was always honest and he was always dishonest. So she didn't see the breakup coming because she was like never, like she always expressed any doubts she had. Right. So she just didn't see what Xander was dealing with privately coming. Right. And that's like the problem of like, you can be a good communicator, but communication is like a two-way street, to use a cliche. Right. Like you can't just be the one good communicator and have everything like come out. Right.
No, I'm just saying if she had sex with Spike, it's not because she can't communicate things. That's what she wanted. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Right, which is a huge emphasis in their like kind of why they hook up, right? Because they're both straightforward, bullshit people.
I have no problem with Anya hooking up with Spike. They make a great couple. They make a way better couple than she and Xander. I mean, I think that was the right move for Anya, to be honest. But my hunch is that Spike just isn't really the guy that she really. I mean, Spike just seems really obsessed with Buffy. I mean, like to a next level obsession. So I just don't think that relationship would work. And in a world without Buffy, I think the Spike and Anya relationship definitely could work. And it would be a much better relationship than her and Xander. But
yeah, I need to have a little Buffy locket or something you'd look at all the time. I mean, even if Buffy was gone, he's still got a thing for her.
Spike needs to wish that he could Spike needs to wish that he could forget about Buffy.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you look at it, that like Spike has had at least 2 other relationships destroyed by his obsession with Buffy.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Or pitted his relationships against each other to try and get Buffy back. I mean, he's just...
What a mess, this guy. This kid.
We have to live in his constant obsession for this show, right? Just live in this obsession with Buffy.
Let's emotionally move on to a different subject. We'll do recommendations.
Recommendations.
So I was picking recommendations this week where either like the breakup like causes destruction or like the ex turns into a monster or something. So I'm going to start with Possession, which three of us watched just like a couple weeks ago for our own enjoyment. Really an excellent movie. We had a lot of strong different reactions from the group when we watched it. So imagine like in like Berlin, it's still the Cold War, so like the city's split in two. You come back, you're some sort of spy, you come back and your wife has broken up with you, and you are both just the most insane, intense people in the universe. And you have fights in restaurants where you don't acknowledge that you're even talking to each other. And also there's a demon involved or something. There's some fucking crazy shit involved. Anyway, this is a good movie. Travis thought it was a comedy. It freaked Yoder out. Mike, what was your feelings on Possession?
Oh, I mean, it's just this phenomenal like divorce movie. Like it really has all the feelings of divorce, both being like as someone who's just been a bystander to divorce when my parents divorced, like this just felt like all these emotions that you never see come to the surface. Just you're living in those emotions throughout the entire film. And it just felt it just felt really good to see those feelings played out, the way people just hate / are obsessed, can't leave each other alone after a divorce, especially with a kid. I mean, just it's such a mess.
Heather's also a good breakup movie. Like, what if your ex also wants to blow up the school? And that's a fun movie that I've probably recommended before, but Buffy fans would enjoy it. Also weird, like you couldn't do that movie now. You know, you couldn't have like school suicides and blowing up the school as a comedy. So Burying the Ex and My Boyfriend's Back are both like your ex comes back as a zombie to different degrees. Who just recently watched My Boyfriend's Back? Was it one of you guys?
I tried to get people to watch it, but it was a fail because of Plex complexities.
Somebody said they couldn't get licensing. I mean, somebody was talking about it because they couldn't get licensing for that song. Yeah,
so that must have been Yoder just watched it. And yeah, the whole movie apparently doesn't have the song My Boyfriend's Back in it, which is crazy.
Huh.
Also, the movie War of the Roses, I feel like that movie played a lot on cable when we were a kid, but that's like a breakup going like crazy wrong with Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner. All right, so those are the recs of like your ex is a demon style recs. So let's go on to does anyone have where do we go from here for this week?
Where do we go from here?
What if we did a podcast, and this is going to sound insane because I know that the thing is that with modern sort of podcasts, but definitely on YouTube, the key to success is quantity, not quality, right? You want to be posting ideally. Like I was just looking at one of those guys who's got one of those reaction channels. He just like his whole thing is he like watches some piece of media and then reacts to it in real time. His goal is to post 5 videos a day.
Oof.
Which like is insane, but it's working for him. He's got a lot of views. So I was thinking, like, why don't we do a daily breakfast podcast? Whatever you're eating for breakfast, we'll just podcast our breakfasts. It'll be weird because we're on different time zones, so it might be a twice daily podcast. What am I eating for breakfast? And it could be the same thing every day for weeks upon end.
Dude, are we going to call ourselves the Breakfast Club? Or the Breakfast Club cast?
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, obviously breakfast
That's my
is
pitch.
like a big topic for us. So maybe because we do this podcast in the morning.
I mean, if you got to make content, there's the perfect, it's on your plate already,
It's on the plate. All right. Let's go on to predictions.
Virgin predictions.
Okay, predictions. Michael, let's take a look at your scores at the moment. Currently, you're at a 64.47% overall and a 71.43% Still stuck as your second best season overall, right? 71.43% for season 6. So let's take a look, see if we can improve or disimprove those scores. Okay. Back to season 4, episode 3, Michael predicted that Xander and Anya will have a horrible breakup that will have horrible consequences beyond the two of them. So I think, the thought here is that, like, by having sex with Spike, this is going to out Buffy as having had sex with Spike as well. Is that a horrible consequence, do you guys think?
I mean, also, Anya is now a vengeance demon. And
fair enough. Yeah.
have not seen her curse other people, but presumably that's her job now. And that there's another demon out in this world because of this breakup, right? A human is no more.
That seems pretty horrible to me. Yeah, I'm willing to buy that. I think we can confirm that one. Any other thoughts on that?
That's a confirm, baby.
Okay.
Wow, awesome.
This is episode 18, correct?
Yeah.
Cool. All righty. Okie dokie.
I expected worse consequences. This is great.
One confirmed. Okay. Season 5, episode 10. Michael predicts Anya will wear a leather jacket.
When Mike predicted this, I thought of this episode because I was like, surely she probably wears Spike's leather jacket. And I watched this episode looking for that, and she doesn't. So I just feel like this was the episode that if it was going to happen, not that we still have to wait, but
yeah, we have to wait until the end.
Yeah,
I really thought this was.
It's insane that with all the leather jackets flying around the Buffyverse, that one hasn't managed to collide with Anya yet. We're going to leave that one open. Okay. Season 5, episode 18. Michael predicts that Buffy will get a pass from her friends to do something messed up because of her mom passing. So no one explicitly forgives Buffy for sleeping with Spike once they find out, but it's really just Xander who's found out, right?
But they've all just forgiven Buffy for trying to murder them all.
Oh, true. That's true. Do you think that Joyce's passing is playing into their?
I think they're forgiving partially because she's been dead. I just think like now is the time to either confirm it or deny it because like the mom thing, Yeah,
it's not explicit. But I think it's definitely part of everybody's mental calculus.
She definitely got a pass.
Agree. I'm willing to confirm this one just because how could they not be thinking about that?
Right.
It seems like, normally we want something that's kind of like overt in the episode to confirm or deny a prediction, but I think in this case it's pretty clear. Okay, so we'll go ahead and confirm that one. Oops.
Insane.
How do you feel about it, Mike?
No, good. I like you guys bringing up all these important points and them getting verified as being accurate predictions.
Yep.
Great.
Okay. Season 6, episode 13. This is pretty recently. Buffy is going to tell the Scooby Gang that she and Spike were having sex, and I think at this point, Spike outed her for her. And so Buffy is not able to do that. So, the cat's out of the bag. Buffy did not get the opportunity to come clean on her own.
She did to Dawn.
No, Dawn figured it out because Dawn, unlike Willow and Xander, actually has emotional intelligence.
But she still told Dawn.
Did she tell Dawn or I feel like
whatever.
Dawn knew and then Buffy
can move on. Let's just move on.
Okay.
They're going to deny
All right. Okay. That one's denied. Season 6, episode 16. Anya resumes her vengeance demoning in season 6. So she hasn't done any Anya hasn't done any vengeance demoning as a verb, but she is a vengeance demon noun. What do you guys think? Should we confirm this? Is having the face doing some vengeance demoning enough?
Yeah, and I think she's actively doing her job. She's trying to get people to make their wishes.
Okay.
That's part of the being a vengeance demon, right?
Okay, fair enough. We'll confirm that one. I'll buy that. Okay. Similar question though. Anya and Halfrick team up in season 6. Have they they're friends and Halfrick's offering counsel, but she's clearly stepping back from taking any active role in helping her out. So what do you guys think? Are they teaming up?
I'll leave this one to Travis. I just thought it was worth bringing up.
Yeah, it is worth bringing up. I think we leave this one open.
Okay.
For the time being.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike seems shocked by this.
I am. I mean, what
You
more of
think
a team up
that's a
can
team up?
I mean, I guess you could. By your statement of she's giving counsel, like,
Right.
is that not teaming up? Guiding her through her job.
When I'm telling her
if
to
I'm
let Spike
training somebody,
do
am I not
vengeance.
part of a team?
No.
I mean, teaming up
Okay.
it's vague. It's a vague concept. I mean, like you picture the Avengers assembling and then being given a mission that they need to complete, and they're like, "That's a team up, right?" And you'd probably
Right.
say like, "Well, I mean, it's all of them in the same place doing the same thing, but is it?"
Or is Nick Fury a member of the Avengers because he gives them assignments?
I
Or
mean, I
is
think them.
Xavier teaming up with the X-Men if he doesn't go out on missions?
Okay, these analogies are persuading me. All right, fine. We'll confirm this one. It's a team up because meeting in a coffee shop and talking it over is a team up. Okay, all right. Season 6.
Sorry, you just confirmed.
I confirmed the wrong one. Sorry, thank you. Good call. Oops, wrong one again. Okay, this one. Okay, all right. Okay. Season 6, episode 17. Jonathan will be the first member of the trio to confess their crimes. We still don't know because I think we can infer that this means confess to someone other than the trio talking among themselves. That's not really confession.
Yeah, I just but both Andrew and Warren are convinced that Mike's prediction will come true.
Yep,
he's going to tell
leaving it
us.
open for now, but he does seem to be that's what the other two are predicting. We'll see. Okay, season 6, episode 17. The magic shop reopens this season. Seems to be open for business. Spike can just walk in and say, "I need something." He seems to be coming in as a customer, so I'm going to go ahead and confirm that one.
What does Spike even want? Right? What do you want?
He wants an emotional numbing spell. He wants. I get that. That works. That makes sense. Okay. Season 6, episode 17, and this one is a super prediction. Anya returns in the next episode, and so she has. She does not disappear. She's back. Okay. Confirmed. That is a super confirmation. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other confirmations and 1 denial. So
Jesus Christ! Wow.
let's see how we're doing here. Thus, your
66%?
overall accuracy rises to a 65.07, and your accuracy for this season rises to a 72.73.
Well, great. I have new predictions. This is all great news. What an exciting episode this has been. Prediction 1, Spike and Anya won't have sex again. Let me help this out by saying in season 6. Let's make this season 6. Buffy and Xander won't have sex again. Buffy and Spike won't have sex again in season 6.
What about Xander and Spike?
Yeah, when will Xander and Spike have sex again?
Oh man, only in my dreams. I mean, they'll definitely reference it. They love poking at us in that way. Willow and Tara's relationship will make me cry in a future episode. That I'll let you guys know if I cried. This removes you guys from the situation to determine whether or not it comes true, which is what I should have been doing the whole time. Buffy will be the subject of a surveillance camera again. I feel like this is just an inevitability, even though it just happened. And then Super, Dawn will get invited to patrol with Buffy. Now, we'll get invited. Now, that for many of you guys will be like a formal invitation. Like, here's my invite. I guess I'm going to go patrolling with you guys. Dawn will get casually invited.
I did not see an RSVP option.
No formal invitation. Oh, no. Fucking don't do that. Dawn will get casually invited to patrol with Buffy. Hey, we're going out patrolling. Come on, Dawn.
No, get rid of the with Buffy because that is another variable to patrol. Right? Patrol is a concept.
Dawn will get casually invited to patrol. Thank you, Travis, for confirming this as a super. Appreciate it.
Maybe they'll come true. Maybe they won't. You'll have to continue to watch both Buffy and our listeners will have to listen to how we judge these when they come up in future episodes of Buffy Virgin. All right. I've been your host, Dennis St. John. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Dennis Comics, DenisComix. It's also my .com. where you can find my comics, my mini comics, my illustrations, all that stuff. Thank you one and all for listening and talking to us at Buffy Virgin. Don't forget to rate us, and we hope you're subscribing. You can watch us on YouTube. Our Twitter is at Buffy Virgin Pod, and our Instagram is Buffy Virgin. You can also check us out at buffyvirgin.com. Reach out. We love to hear from you. We'll see you in hell.